Hi, I'm Ashley Rowan and thanks for watching this week's video. Today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency. It's been in the media quite a bit recently and I thought it would be a topic of interest. So you may have heard the term Bitcoin, which is an online currency which can be traded between individuals or utilised to purchase goods and services online. Cryptocurrency, and in particular Bitcoin, was first introduced and made in 2009. And back there you could purchase one Bitcoin for a fraction of a cent. Come 2010, so 12 months later, 10,000 Bitcoins could be used to purchase 2 pizzas, so your meal for the night. If we fast forward to today, those 10,000 coins would be now worth $20 million. So you can see why there's been such a rise in popularity of this form of investing, but there are definitely risks associated with getting into this space. Probably the biggest risk comes in form of regulatory risk. So if the government introduces any legislation limiting the opportunities you've got to invest, or banning it altogether, the price in the currency will just bottom out. As an example, China, about 90% of the investors into Bitcoin are from China. So for whatever reason, their government decides to put forward any discerning legislation, you expect the price of Bitcoin currency to drop as a result. And there's been an example of that recently, where their government have provided a bit of news and information about the risks associated with investing in Bitcoin, and based on this news, the price of Bitcoin itself dropped by 20%. So it's a very volatile investment sector to be in, but as you can see, over the last 7 years, it's made some incredible gains. So there are definitely risks and benefits associated with it. Another risk to be aware of is the currency's scalability. So as you're aware, you can invest, you can invest in the asset itself and trade between people. You can also utilize it as a currency to purchase goods and services. So as it becomes more popular, there are certainly going to be some scalability issues. Currently, you can transfer the currency worldwide, and it'd take about 20 to 30 minutes for the transaction to be completed, which in comparison to other alternatives, it's quite a speedy outcome. But the same time issues are there if you decide to use Bitcoin to purchase a coffee, for example. If the retailer had that functionality available, which some do, you don't really want to be waiting 20 to 30 minutes for the transaction to be completed before you could take your cold coffee away with you. Another risk associated with investing in, and I'll use Bitcoin as an example, but there's a lot of different cryptocurrencies out there, would be the risk of an alternative cryptocurrency, so a competitor becoming more popular. So at the moment, Bitcoin's got the majority in this space, but if another one come along and became more popular, I dare say the value of Bitcoin would be reduced as a factor. So that is a risk as well. The biggest one, in my personal opinion, would be the risk of hacking. So given that it's an online currency, there have been a history of hacking attacks, and this currency in particular isn't assigned to your name. It does sitting in an account that's designated, but the currency itself hasn't got your name written aside it. So if it's hacked and lost, there's no way to trace it back and get it returned. So there's a lot of hacking risk. There's measures in place to protect against it, but it's not 100% as yet. So should you invest into cryptocurrency? It's definitely your personal opinion. If you're a risk-taking investor and you're looking for that growth, it's definitely a space to consider. But it is high risk. If you got into this space 7 years ago, you would have reaped all the rewards. I'm not saying that's going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years, because nobody really knows. It's definitely a new segment to look into. But if you're more of a conservative investor, I'd probably steer clear and just keep your eyes on cash and fixed interest and secure bonds, those sort of investment. But once again, it's your personal preference. We're just trying to provide you some information today. So thanks for watching the video. I hope it explained what cryptocurrency is and some of the risks associated. Thanks again.